first person that really got me thinking about some of these things is someone I met when we were both unemployed in Newcastle about a decade ago. Mark was channeling his unemployed boredom into making music at the time. But it's the kind of music that not a lot of people love. And it's certainly not the stuff you read about in the culture pages, even in Newcastle.
OK, that should be warm enough.
It never struck me as something you need to warm up for. Shows you right.
100%. No, someone said to me the other day, I didn't think DJs had to do sound checks. Fucking idiot, I should have punched him. Here we are. Newcastle Hardcore Volume 1. One of the first times I heard a lot of this sort of music, the sheer fuck-offness of the record appealed to me straight away. And I could also see what was going on in the shop while I was playing that record. And
in the store?
Yeah, people were horrified, absolutely horrified. And I thought, I'd love to make a record that caused this reaction in a record shop one day. In Newcastle, at the BHP, steel was being made at 180 beats per minute. So I went through the steelworks with a bunch of friends and we recorded all of the noise and the racket that was going on there. And so it made sense to put a kick drum under that and make a 180 BPM industrial hardcore piece. So we always wanted to make a record. We managed to get a brown paper bag full of doll money and a master tape. And we drove to the only pressing plant in Australia at that point, which was in Sydney, in St. Peters. We drove there, we gave them the doll money in the brown paper bag and the DAT tape, and we said, we haven't got enough money for artwork, but if you can press some records for us, that would be great. How many will that get us? All this money we've got here, how many records can we get? They counted it up and said 100 white labels. And that was it. That was our 100 white labels, and that was the start of our label. People either hated it or loved it. Now, the people that did love it tended to yap about it. And a lot of this yapping went on in record stores back in the caveman era before internet. And also this thing here, we used to do business back in the days with a fax machine.
I've forgotten exactly what they used to do.
Okay,
How did they work?
There was an A4 sheet of paper that you fed in. Actually, I think...
Actually, wasn't a thermal roll back then?
No, the thermal roll was for receiving faxes. Oh. After a few months of back and forthing with a few labels, one German label got in touch with us and said, would you like to release a record for our label? I'm like, yes, we would. That would be great. In the style of this record here, this NWA straight out of Compton, we did our middle-class white version of that straight out of Newcastle on this German label.
I actually own that.
You own it?
I have a copy.
Okay, it's worth money now.
It's actually in storage. I've got a...
Best place for it. Storage or eBay.
Yeah, right. What will I get for that on eBay? Just out of
that one, probably not much. There was a lot of copies of that. If you've got a copy of this...
No, I don't.
That trades hands now, stupidly, for between a good record... One of these in good condition would probably fetch about $1,000.
Shice.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No one buys it for the music. The music's bloody horrible. The record was made in a Saturday afternoon with half a case of beer, and I was just bored, so I made it. You know what I mean? It wasn't some big artistic statement that I wanted accolades for. It was a way of relieving boredom, and it accidentally caught on somewhere. We did a lot of touring. I remember the first show we played, it was in Scotland, and it was the first time we had people wanting us to sign their records. I made a living through also playing this music, DJing. The underground is big enough over there for this sort of music for me to scrape a living off going around DJing that sort of music.
Nowadays, it seems like that model of sort of making stuff somewhere to a niche all around the world is actually much more common.
Yeah.
Do you have any
thought? MySpace? It just happens. I mean, technology marches on and you either get with it or get fucked.